Hi, Jennifer with Mindful Movement, Mindful Living, and I am here today with another monthly mindfulness challenge. So a great way to start our month, right, with some mindful intention. Now, before we begin and dive into this month's challenge, I just want to take a moment. If mindful living and mindfulness and movement are things that are important and interesting to you, please take a second to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And that will ensure that you'll receive a notification whenever I post a new video, and we can continue to sort of move along this wellness and mindfulness journey together, inspiring each other, which is so nice. Now on to this month's topic, right? So this month's intention is connecting with nature. So I think that'll be a fun one to focus on this month together. And again, it won't be something, I'm not giving any assignments here that are challenging or stressful or that take a ton of time. So this will be, I promise, very doable and enjoyable. So we'll have a great month. So as always, I'm going to start with the benefits. We'll talk about that. And then we will go into some action items that, again, they're easy, they're effective, they're enjoyable. Those are my 3 E's for every month. And then some quotes and reading for some additional inspiration before we begin the month in this mindfulness challenge. So let's get started. So first, we'll just talk about the benefits. You know, there are so... This video could be, 24 hours long if I talked about all of the benefits, but I'm just going to give a few highlights. So there are so many reasons, to connect with nature, and I'm sure a bunch of them come to mind as soon as I even mentioned this month's topic and intention, right? But it's easy, it's enjoyable, right? If you could live in a really rural area, which is sort of the obvious sort of nature spot. But even in an urban area or somewhere in between, which is sort of where I am living, you can easily connect with nature and really receive the benefits of connecting with nature. So you don't need to be somewhere rural on a farm or something. You could certainly be in a city or, the suburbs or somewhere kind of in between. So, and wherever we are, we can find nature. Don't worry about it. Everyone can do this. So, so connecting with nature, it can help us reduce our stress levels and relax. Even our eye muscles can relax when we're outside in nature. And I'll talk about that a little bit later too, in one of our action items. It's a mental break from the rest of the day to help us clear our minds. It's like literally stopping and smelling the roses, right? So we're kind of pulling our awareness away from all the other things we have in our mind and just taking a moment to notice nature, to appreciate nature, to just sort of clear our mind and focus on something else, almost like a little mini break from all the other sort of hustle and bustle and things we have in our mind the rest of the day, right? So it's just a nice way to kind of refocus, shift our awareness, clear our mind a little bit. It can help us cultivate an appreciation for the environment, which is always a good thing. There are so many reasons, right, to be aware and to appreciate our environment. And it also, of course, I love movement, so this has to have a movement piece too. It helps us move in more varied ways, right? Because if you were outside, if we're not on a flat level surface, maybe we're on a trail, we can move differently. Maybe we're squatting down to plant something or to look at something that's on the ground, or there's just different ways to move. You can climb things maybe. So as we're outside, we just encounter different ways that we're able to move our body. And when we can move our body in varied ways, we receive so many benefits, physically and mentally from that, right? So we get to clear our mind, we get to move our body in varied ways, we can relax, maybe de-stress a little bit. So lots of benefits. And that's just kind of scratching the surface because this video, I'm trying to keep it a reasonable length. So we'll start with those benefits. And then we have a few action items, of course, to help us to achieve those benefits and realize those benefits this month, right? So again, they're always easy. All these are easy, enjoyable. I don't want this to feel like a stressful or like daunting task we're tackling this month. It should just fit very easily into our everyday life. Just kind of layer into whatever we already are doing or have to do in our day. We'll just kind of layer this in seamlessly. So our first item is to grow something. And if you aren't a gardener, this might sound, you might think, I don't have a green thumb, I can't do this. It's very simple. So just grow anything. and trust me, I grow tons of things and I don't know what I'm doing, but it still works. So just give it a try. So it can be simple. It could be a potted plant. It could be an herb. I love having I have a little container with just fresh herbs that grow in my kitchen so that when I'm cooking, I have them there. They smell nice when I'm in there. It gives me just a little something green and a little piece of nature, inside, which is nice. I have that all year round, which I love. So it can be as simple as that. It can be, I have a deck, so I have a bunch of containers full of vegetables and plants out there. You can just anything. It could be very simple, and of course it could be more elaborate. It could be, a perennial garden, but it doesn't have to be. So don't feel like if you don't have a green thumb or a ton of space, it could literally be just a little pot with a little herb in it or something that you can use. So it can be very, very simple. And I have to say, as I said before, I don't know what I'm doing when I somehow manage to plant and grow lots of things, but I don't know what I'm doing. It just works most of the time. Doesn't always, but usually it works. And even in the fall we planted daffodil bulbs, my younger daughter and I didn't know what I was doing. And we just kind of planted them, and it was literally amazing in the spring. It was still kind of in between snowfall when they started, and all of a sudden a whole bunch of daffodils bloomed in my yard. And I have to say, it was so exciting, and I was kind of amazed that it worked. So I just think it is so amazing, where you can plant a little seed, a little bulb in a pot or in the ground, and something beautiful can grow from that. So just something as simple as that is really amazing and can bring a lot of joy and mindfulness, right? It can kind of pull you out of the other things in the day to just take a moment and really appreciate that, which is so nice. I will post as well. I'll post some videos of my various container gardens, and I do have an in-ground garden, and I do a community garden as well. I'm gardening all over the place. So I'll post some pictures of those as well. And I would love to see your gardens or container plants as well. So please share those and what you're doing, because I love that inspiration from you as well. It's so nice. The second action item is to take a regular walk outside. Now, it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be a power walk. It could be, but it doesn't have to be. Just walking outside. It is so good for us to take a walk. As you probably know, I teach natural movement, and walking, is sort of one of the ultimate natural movements, right? It doesn't get more natural than walking. So it's so good for us. And again, it could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be really far. Just take a walk. Whatever time, if you have a few minutes, that's fine. So don't feel like you need to have a lot of time or anything special. Just whatever you've got, 5 minutes around the block, will do. So whatever you've got, it's so nice. So it's such a nice form of natural movement. So just set a goal, that works for you. Maybe it's a few minutes, a few times a week, and enjoy. I also have a Walking Well series of videos. So I will post a link to those if you want some inspiration and some motivation to get walking this month. So I will include those as well as a resource. And then our last action item for this month's mindfulness challenge is look and listen. And you might be wondering what I mean by that, but it literally just means look and listen, actually. So it just takes a few minutes. So just take a few minutes every day if you can, just to observe, listen to nature or whatever sounds are outside near you, and then observe, look. So just, for 1 minute, literally just 60 seconds even, just focus on what you can hear outside, wherever you are. Maybe you're just outside your door, or you just stepped outside for a minute, or maybe you're out on a trail somewhere. It could be anything, but just take 1 minute and just see what you can hear. Just notice the sounds. Maybe it's birds, maybe it's your neighbors, maybe it's the wind, whatever it is. Just notice all the sounds for 1 minute. And then for just only 1 more minute, I'm not asking for a lot of time here. So for the second minute, just spend that time noticing what you can see. And same thing, maybe it's clouds in the sky, maybe it's someone, walking by, or, maybe it's an animal or a squirrel, a bird. So just notice what you can see. And also, as part of that, notice how far you can see. Because when we're inside, we're really limited to how far we can look. And when I was talking earlier about the benefits, that helps our eyes relax. It helps not just our body move in varied ways, but our eyes get to see in varied ways when we're outside. So see how far away you can see when you're out there as well. Now, I said this doesn't have to take a lot of time. You could even do this during your walk and really kind of be super efficient if you wanted to. So you could take 1 minute of your walk and just notice what you can hear, and then take another minute of your walk and notice what you can see. So you could even kind of do it at the same time. I also have a nature meditation video that I will post a link to as well for some inspiration and motivation on observing and just being aware of nature and clearing our mind at the same time, and just being really present in nature. So I'll post that as well. And those are our action items. So just 3 really simple: grow something, take a walk, and look and listen. And 2 of them can be done simultaneously. So maybe while walking around something you grew, maybe walking by your garden, and combine it all together. So the last thing I'll leave you with is some quotes and reading, just for a little inspiration to kick us off. And I always have a hard time narrowing down my quotes on these topics, because they're always ones that are important to a lot of people. So forever and ever, people have been talking about them. So I've got some old quotes, some newer quotes, and some books this month too. So some quotes. I have a Rembrandt quote, which is, "Choose only one master, nature." You probably saw that one coming, right? And then Thoreau has one. I had to put Thoreau in. "There are moments when all anxiety and stated toil are becalmed in the infinite leisure and repose of nature." And then Aristotle is an old one. "In all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous." And that's so true. That's a good one to think about while we are doing our look and listen, right? Just to be really, it's kind of like I was talking about with my daffodils, right? It is marvelous, these things that we see in nature. They're all around us. Laura Ingalls Wilder, "If you truly love nature, you will find beauty everywhere." I love that one. That's one of my favorites. Emerson said, "Nature always wears the colors of the spirit." And then one last one, Monty Don, for you green thumbs out there and gardeners, "I always see gardening as an escape, as peace really. If you're angry or troubled, nothing provides the same solace as nurturing the soil." I love that. So those are my quotes. And then I have 3 books as well to kick us off this month and get us going. I've read all of these, but I think I'm going to reread them actually starting today for this month. But the first one I have is The Lost Art of Reading Nature's Signs. So here's the book. And this I've actually read a few times already, and I'm about to read it again. But I love this one. It's by Tristan Googly, and it's just a really great book. It's so interesting, and it covers a lot of different elements of nature. I love it. So give this a go if you can. And next I have Movement Matters by Katie Bowman. I love Katie, and this book is wonderful. I could probably include this book in every single month's mindfulness challenge because it applies to so many things. almost everything. So this is a great one. It's essays on movement science, movement ecology, and the nature of movement. So a great way to really combine not just movement, but also nature, just kind of the world around us. So this one I highly recommend. I've read this more than once as well, and I'm going to be reading it again this month. So let me know what you think. And then my last one is this one. It's the Container Gardener's Bible. And this is great, especially if you're new to gardening, if you don't have a lot of space. And actually, I should say I do have a good amount of space outside. I do have a yard, but we have woods. So we have a lot of forest friends that eat everything in my yard that I try to grow. So I have a big vegetable garden actually on my deck. And I'm always amazed at how many vegetables you can grow just in a container. But I grow my vegetables there, and it's awesome. So even if you just are growing one thing in a pot, this is a great place to start. So this is a good one. And this is by Joanna K. Harrison and Miranda Smith. So check this out. If you are interested in just starting something just really simple from a container, this is your book. So give this a try too. So there we have it. We have some benefits. We have a few easy, enjoyable, and effective action items, and some inspirational quotes and reading to kick off our monthly mindfulness challenge. I am really looking forward to hearing from you and what you're doing and how you're doing this month. I love getting that inspiration from all of you. I love having this online community together. And yeah, I look forward to connecting with nature, and I hope you do too. So I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to this month, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.